you're jacked in to Buffy's Angels. We're still on season 4 of Buffy, season 1 of Angel. Things are ramping up to the end of these seasons. We're on episode 16 of both of the shows. Buffy is called what episodes we watched?
Who
Who are
are
you?
you?
Who are you? Who? Yeah. So that's I really want to know. I
I'm
really want
Logan.
to know. I really want to know.
My name is Logan, and I love Buffy.
Um, that's nice. Thanks you for introducing yourself. I forgot to do that.
Oh,
Um, Daniel Ehrenberg here. I've watched them all. I know them by heart. Um, and I'm ready to talk about them. Big Faith episode, and Angel over there. They're doing like Fight Club or something.
I liked it for the
Yeah,
most part.
that's how it was promoted at the time. Fight Club. It's not really that.
It's kind of.
It is kind of. Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's start with Buffy, I guess. These episodes both aired February 29th, 2000. February 29th, by the way, I just realized. Leap year.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is this
Wild
we're
shit.
on season 4 of Buffy, so was there any other leap year episode 4 years ago, possibly?
Well, no.
Yeah,
This would be
because
the first, right?
I think so.
Buffy season 1 premiered after February. Like launched
Okay.
in March. So it missed it that year.
All right.
Yeah. But here it is, the one leap year episode of Buffy, and Joss Whedon wrote and directed it, and I'll tell you what, the show, when he does that, tends to take a leap in quality.
That's true. Not
Yeah,
always, but most of the time.
yeah,
According to him, especially.
I agree with him.
Me too.
All right, so Feb 29, 2000. This was airing opposite all the usual suspects. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I mean, what is it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Not who is it?
You
Who
got
Wants
those
to Be a
confused?
Millionaire? Yeah, I get those confused all the time. And then like Dharma and Greg and all that shit. But I'll tell you what I was most excited about when I looked at the TV schedule.
What?
This was airing opposite a special on UPN called Monster Trucks 2000, the new
Wow.
Thrillenium.
Millennium.
Thrillenium.
Like thrill?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And trucks in Monster Trucks spelled Trux.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I
So
like it.
that sounds pretty baller, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Monster Trucks
2000.
2000,
Yeah.
colon, the new Thrillenium.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right. So somebody find me that special. I'll watch it. Um, a sad day in the world of music, Logan.
Okay.
All right. Dennis Donnell, the guitarist from the great seminal punk rock band Social Distortion, passed away on February 29th, 2000. Very sad. The band was never quite the same again. Put out a couple good records, but the sound changed.
Yeah.
And also on this day, the Smashing Pumpkins released their final album,
Wow.
Machina, The Machines of God. They broke up right after that record. But that was a good album. First two singles, The Everlasting Gaze and Stand Inside Your Love, both fantastic.
They never tried to come back together at any point.
They have a few times. They're even on tour right now with like 3 out of the 4 original guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the original lineup never like reunited for anything. Um, in the world of film, okay. Do you want to know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The number one movie in America is a movie we're covering on the podcast this coming week. The Whole Nine
That's
Yards.
amazing.
Yeah. For the second week in a row. Everyone thought Reindeer Games was going to take it out. That was the hot script. People thought it was going to be so good. They gave Aaron Kruger Scream 3. But it didn't pan out. Debuted at number 3. Whole Nine Yards beat it.
Well, it's
And
actually kind of
even,
wild. In the
yeah,
second week.
I know. That was a big movie. People don't remember that. It had
Yeah.
a sequel.
Mhm.
Um,
We're not
and
covering
then
reindeer games this week. I'll tell you that.
hell no. Although I
Yeah.
would. That's a fun movie. And coming in at number seven, a disappointing, distant number seven, even though I gave it money to see it in theaters and I didn't see reindeer games in theaters, is Wonder Boys with Michael Douglas and Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire, which
That's a
was
weird cast.
yeah, that was a good film based on a good novel, and the character Michael Douglas plays on it was based on a college professor that Henry knew when he went to college.
Wow, that's very cool. What if they
Yeah.
make one about Zucker? You gonna be there?
Oh, I'll be there. Yeah. I'll be like, if they don't include the part where he fucked my
Well,
girlfriend
they would
when
have
she was
to. What else
19
is
and
worth
he was
making a
in his
movie out of?
70s.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what else happened in Zucker's life.
Right. He must be pretty appealing. Your girlfriend jumped right on board.
I'll tell you what, he was not. He like seemed like an old man and he wore cowboy boots and western shirts and I hated it. He was like a nightmare. But
Is
he
that a
did
thing
show
for
me
women? They might like that.
I don't know.
Western
I think it
shirts.
was just the power that he was the head of the film department of my school.
Yeah, you're
But
probably right.
yeah. But he had good taste in movies, showed me some good stuff.
What was the best that you showed you?
I watched Living in Oblivion for the first time in that class. I watched The Big Sleep for the first time in that class.
Don't you hate that? Oh, that's the big chill, isn't it?
Yeah, The Big Chill. I hate. Probably a few others. Yeah, there was good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. What else did we watch? I wish I could. That's weird that I can't remember that. I used to sit in that class just watching movies. Once a week, we sat in a movie theater. We watched the movie, and then the other two classes we discuss it.
That's very fun.
And I'd watch the movie. I'd sit next to my girlfriend. We'd hold hands, and then he went and fucked her.
Yep.
um, but anyway, no, but that's a different professor. Okay, Michael Douglas would not play that
Right.
guy. Uh, you know, and shout out to Michael Douglas, by the way. The New York Post this week uh printed an article about how doctors are saying throat cancer uh is uh is more what is it? Eating pussy is worse for throat cancer than smoking cigarettes. Okay. And
They really
Michael
said that?
Douglas for yes. And Michael Douglas for years said that he got throat cancer from going down on Catherine Zeta Jones's pussy too much. And here it is, the New York Post confirming.
It sounds like he just fell completely backwards into that, though. It's like nobody believed that ever. It sounded like a thing he just made up to sound cool. And then,
I don't think so. I here's what I thought that at the time. And now here's what I think. I think there's a small subsection of doctors in places like Los Angeles that think throat cancer is from eating pussy. Like
well, they're right
genuinely, like
now.
this is a theory. Okay. And I think enough of them believe it now that the New York Post posted about it. But at the time, Michael Douglas just went to like the one guy that believed it. And he told him that. And Michael Douglas probably presented it to the public like, well, that's what the doctor told me. Like, I'm just going to say this right now in an interview. No problem.
But do you actually believe it, or you think we're now talking about it because we don't care what we print these days?
Well, the New York Post never really cared what they print,
Okay.
to
But
be
you
fair.
believe that actually?
What that I believe that a small subsection of doctors believe that.
But you don't subscribe to that, I guess.
No, I guess not.
Okay.
I also believe that a small subsection of doctors believes that vaccines don't work. So
Right, right. I guess that's just human. All like half of humans are gonna think one thing and half are gonna think the other.
yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Wrestling. Do you not want me to go into wrestling because of the wrestling show we do now?
Well, I really don't want you spoiling too much if something really cool happens.
All right, I won't tell you big items, but how about this? Uh Raw was coming off a No Way Out. That was the pay-per-view this past weekend when this episode aired. Listen to this lineup. You can't write a better Attitude Era lineup than
Well, they
these.
did write it. They wrote this exact lineup. They were like, "This will be good."
Yeah. But I mean, this is just a random show. You got yourself the Dudley Boys versus the New Age Outlaws. You got yourself Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental title. You got yourself the Edge and Christian versus the Hardys.
Wow.
And it all culminates in a Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Cactus Jack.
Wow. I think I'm familiar with that match. I think I might be familiar with that one. That sounds awesome though. There's
I
only
mean,
four
that's pretty
matches though?
delightful. No, no, that's just the four I chose to,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
You left the women out.
highlight.
You didn't care about them.
They didn't care about when I don't think there was a women's match on that card.
Oh my God. What
Yeah,
is
but
this?
I
Starcade
left out
85?
I left out like Big Show versus The Rock. That's not as
Why? That sounds
all
awesome.
right, all right. I guess that's cool
I
too.
love the Big Show.
All right. Um, that the winner of that match got the winner of that Hell in a Cell match.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Buffy. Whedon's back. He's in the director's chair this week. He's got sole writing credit as well. This is his third. He wrote and directed a lot more in seasons 2 and 3. He only does 4 episodes on his own this season. This is the
Wow.
third of them. He did The Freshman, you'll recall the premiere, and he also did, of course, Hush.
Best episode ever.
Yeah, the seminal Hush. Second time I said seminal this week. Interesting.
This week? How would you know if that's the second time you've said it this week? That's weird.
I mean, this episode.
Oh, this episode. I thought you were just like, well, 4 days ago I said that. No, I said it again. That's weird.
No. All right. All right. Buffy, get into it. Scroll to your notes.
All right. Well, we pick up right where we left off, right?
Yes.
Buffy gets left with Joyce. Faith gets taken off because she's bad. And love, you like all the stuff when Buffy's making faces in the mirror? Love that part.
Of course. That's iconic, man.
Yeah, that was amazing. She takes a bath. She lifts her leg up. That was cool. She puts on some leather outfit because she's Faith, and she's like, "I'm gonna go." Where's she going? Where do we know? She gets a passport and she's at the airport near the end. Where's she headed? I mean, she comes back, but where was she headed?
Faith?
Yeah, as
Uh,
Buffy.
that's a good question.
You
Probably
want to
just
find that out?
elsewhere.
Yeah, just anywhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So Buffy's about to leave. I don't know how we're gonna do this. Are we gonna say like Faith as Buffy, or like do we have to do that every time?
That's up to you, man. That's a good. I hadn't thought of it.
In any of my notes, I just wrote them what I was seeing, and then later I like realize like you
Do
know.
yeah. Say Buffy as Faith. Faith as Buffy.
All right, so Faith as Buffy gets told to go to Giles' house, right?
Oh, you know what? Do the actors.
So
No, I guess
Sarah,
this probably works better. I was just like Eliza Dushku gets told, but no, that's fine. Okay, so Faith as Buffy.
yes, Joyce says, "Hey, Giles called. You got to go over to Giles' house," and she's like, "Ooh, Giles' house. That'll be fun." So she goes to Giles' house, and this scene's pretty cool. Like, I have a question. Had Faith never met Anya? Was she like, was this somebody she'd never met before?
Yeah. I mean, if you'll recall Anya's appearances in season 3, she's in uh The
The
Wish
Wish.
and Doppelgangland, 2 episodes Faith isn't in,
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
and then she comes back for like graduation day and shit, but Faith's already evil and elsewhere by that point.
Right. Yeah, and in a
Yeah.
coma. So yeah, so she's like, Who's Anya? I don't know Anya." And they bring up Adam. She's not familiar with Adam either. Um, what was up with this one part where she has a dream that she's stabbing Willow? What was that? What's going
Yeah,
on there?
she just sort of like fantasizes about stabbing Willow.
Ah, cool. I hope that doesn't come back. Faith is like obsessed with wanting to kill Willow. That
I
was
think Faith is
scary.
just obsessed with wanting to kill right now. Like she's committed enough murder at that point through working with the mayor and stuff that it comes comfortable to her. And I think it makes her freak out how comfortable it's coming to her. She doesn't like to think of herself as a killer. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why she like snaps at that vampire in the church at the end.
Right. And it seemed to eat at her when she killed Finch, Alan Finch.
Yeah.
She didn't seem to like that, but now she's
Yeah, but
just
she insisted that she didn't care about that. Like that's her whole thing
yeah,
is like
outwardly, but clearly she
yeah.
it affected
Yeah.
her.
It definitely haunts her.
Yeah, for sure. And so we go to Willow goes to Tara's house, right? And she's like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
her
Tara."
dorm.
Yeah, I get her dorm, sorry. And she's like, "Tara, I love you. I want you to be all for myself. That's why I haven't introduced you to all my friends." And Tara's like, I'm all
By the way, great line when you don't want to introduce someone to your friends.
Yeah, you think so? I'd rather
Yeah.
want you to keep you for myself.
Yes.
But Tara, she insists that, hey, I'm already yours, Willow. No need to be so selfish around here. You got me. All right.
There's so much heat between them. I
Yeah.
gotta say, as a teenager when I watched this, or like however old I was, that scene in this episode where Willow just like Tara just straight up makes
Orgasms.
her come.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever thought about it that way before. I was just like,
Yeah, I
they're doing
understand.
magic. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, but you may not have when you were younger, but now the magic is sex 100% of the time, basically.
Yeah,
Like magic is just a metaphor for sex when it comes to these two, basically.
it's
I
true.
mean, not really like they do save people, but all the lines that they have is like, oh, I don't only want to do magic. I like talking to you. Like
Yeah,
it's always like that. But
absolutely.
so we go to Buffy, our Faith as Buffy is she goes to the bronze. She's like, all right, guys, I'll go take care of Adam. Cut to her partying, right? She goes to the bronze to party because that's what Faith does. And Spike is there, right? And
Yeah, by the
Spike,
way, the song she's dancing to is by the band Nerf Herder, who does the Buffy
wow,
theme song. Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
What was the song? They had a song on that playlist you sent me. What was it?
Van Halen, I think.
Yes.
I love that song.
Yeah. So Spike's there and he's like I feel like the last few episodes he's just been in one scene. It's kind of bummed me out, but it's been all right. He's like,
At least they're
ah,
using him. He's not a regular. They don't have to.
is he not a regular?
Wait, did they make him a regular?
Oh yeah, he's been a regular for weeks, right? For like
Oh, never
months.
mind. You're right.
Hasn't he?
I'm sorry.
He's been in
Mhm.
the credits drumming, remember? Or
Oh,
like in the car, like doing going down his head to the beat or whatever.
yeah, I guess you're right.
Marsters, he's been around.
Hey,
Uh
what was it fun about the credits this week was it said Eliza Dushku as Buffy.
no, really? That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I gotta check that out. That was really cool. And so Spike, he's like, yeah, I got to get this chip out of my head. That's like his only concern still at the moment. Well, whatever. I mean, she kind of hits on him, right?
A lot of it was exposition because Faith doesn't know anything about Spike. But like it's like, by the way, yeah, I'm still pissed about the chip thing, and
Yeah.
and so yeah, and then she like really, I mean, it feels like her purpose in the scene is just like give him a boner and then walk away.
Right. That's what she does a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
By the
And
way,
worked on me too.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We haven't really we mentioned it, but I think that they both do a great job. I think Sarah does a great job as Faith, and I think Eliza does a great job as Buffy. They're both really good.
I agree on both, but I really think Sarah Michelle Gellar's performance in this episode is something super special. Like
Really?
literally every line of dialogue that she delivers, if you stop and think about like Eliza Dushku saying it, you can hear it.
No, I did, but I did that for Faith also, and especially her eyes. I thought she was doing great eye stuff, and like nostril stuff. Like
She's
I
great. She's great, especially in the scene with Giles later. But
yes,
I mean, Sarah Michelle Gellar's work is so subtle and interesting. It's almost like Faith comes in with this year's girl. Like, remember how dynamic and awesome this character is? And then the next episode is like, yeah, but remember, we got Sarah Michelle Gellar every week,
yeah,
and she's as dynamic and interesting as it comes.
yeah,
And
and the scene with her and Riley too in bed is great. Also,
amazing. Yeah, I
later
mean,
on,
she's sexy and weird and scary, and she does weird, interesting things. Like she consistently pronounces the word about in this episode as a boat. Just because
Oh,
it's
interesting.
something that Eliza Dushku randomly does. It's just how she talks.
That's really interesting. But
Yeah.
I don't want to like short what's it called? Short
Short
shrift?
change. I don't know it
Yeah.
never. And of
Faith. I
course,
think
like
she's Faith.
the Buffy part is showier this week because she's playing like psychopathic Kate.
Right.
Faith. Kate. Oh, that's Angel.
Kate.
Um,
No
but
K this week. Oh sad.
yeah. But you're right. They're both great.
Yes, 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 yes. And like I thought when I was watching Faith, I was like, it made me like Eliza Dushku because I thought about like from Eliza's perspective, like she probably really studied uh Sarah Michelle Gellar's performance as Buffy, like before she was even on the show. She was probably like, oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar is a great actor as Buffy. And now it seemed like she was really like honing all the stuff she learned from watching her, like even before she got on the show. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking about. But
There's a show later that Eliza Dushku stars in and Joss Whedon created called Dollhouse.
what? Really?
And yeah, it ran for 2 seasons. And the premise of the show was um Eliza Dushku, like, it's basically like a horror house, okay? But like they can put any personality or situation onto people or like talent. Like, all right, this guy's gonna take you on like a motorcycle date. So like we're gonna like sit you in this chair, and now all of a sudden you know how to do motorcycles. So it was basically like Eliza Dushku was playing a different character every episode, kind of.
Yeah.
And like it just goes to show you how much confidence Joss Whedon has in Eliza Dushku's acting ability
Yeah.
and her
I get it.
range.
I get it.
Yeah. He seems to write this sort of thing specifically for her.
Yes, and he and you talked about like when you were all the Buffy lines you could see Faith doing. I think that's a credit to him also. The writing in this episode is great for those two.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I spent time like wondering how he wrote it. Like, did he write the lines thinking of the original actors writing them? Like,
I
so
think
it
he
sounded more like those characters? I don't know.
I think he probably thought about what the characters would say, and then he thought about like what how like then he thought about like Faith delivering the line as Buffy, and he probably
You're
altered
right.
it depending on
He's
that.
got real 3D chess brain. He can do that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, really, really cool. And so here's Adam. Adam,
I want to
so
say, I'm sorry, early
I'm
on in
sorry.
the episode when Faith is she's like ordering shit on like Buffy's credit cards and stuff. There's like one line that is the most crazy piece of fucking foreshadowing I've ever seen. And
Really?
I never even noticed. It's not in my thesis. I never noticed it until this rewatch.
I didn't pick up on anything weird, so I
Oh,
don't even know
you
what you're
you
talking about.
wouldn't. You wouldn't. It is wild.
I guess you'll have to tell me when
I
we
will.
get to that point.
I'll tell you when we get to it,
You
but
better, because
it
I'm not
is
sure I'll
like
ever remember.
no, I will.
Okay.
It is like it was mind blowing to me. Completely mind blowing. I'm like
Wow, that's interesting.
I wanted to like go back and edit my thesis, even though no one will ever read it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh, that's interesting. So all right. So Adam shows up with vampires. Vampires are like, "Oh no, this guy's scary." I think he kills one of them, and he's like, "You guys are gonna follow me," or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to be forming up some sort of demon cult.
Right. Well, I would say vampires. Are they
Well,
demons?
yeah, it's specifically vampires. You're right.
Yeah. As of now, maybe he'll get some demons later.
Right.
But I hated this moment. It made me very sad. This guy spits on Faith, Buffy as Faith.
Oh, yeah.
That was so
I know.
sad.
And then the camera just stays on her. You just see
I
the spit
know.
sitting there on her face.
I know. Very sad. It
Yeah.
made me
Well, it's the
sad
Watchers.
because
But I sort of liked that scene. It was like a real insight into the Watchers Council. Like he says to her, like, the Watchers Council used to stand for something until you perverted it. Like, it's
yeah.
interesting.
Well, it seemed like only that guy specifically. Like the other guys were just like doing orders, but this guy seemed to like really care about the
Yeah,
council.
it felt to me like two of them were like mercenaries
Yes.
for the council, and one of them was like on the board or something.
Yeah, this guy really stood out. But that made me sad because one, because it was Buffy as Faith, but two is because like, even if they were just like they probably just would have spit on Faith. Like that's so sad. Like
Yeah.
she's probably
I
gotten
don't
treated
want to
that
see
way a lot of
Eliza
times.
Dushku with spittle on her face.
they pull out a syringe. They're like, "Hey, bitch,
Yeah.
we're gonna give you a shot." But then she like reverses it and gives it to that one guy. That was pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Willow shows up. She goes to they go to the bronze, right? Willow and Tara, and then
Yeah.
Buffy's
Willow's
there.
like, can't believe you've never been here before, Tara. It's the coolest place in town.
Yeah, it did seem kind of crazy. Why hasn't she been there before?
I don't know. Well, she seems like a real homebody. Like she doesn't really do much.
Yeah, you're right.
Probably took her a lot even to like get out of her room to go to the Wicca Club.
But
But
Willow seems the same way, except Willow found friends. Tara never had any friends.
yeah, I want to comment more on the music at the Bronze if I could.
Yeah,
All right. After Buffy dances that nerve herder song and talks to Spike, she walks away and they start playing this Cure song called Watching Me Fall. And it's from that album I told you about, Blood Flowers. Remember, I told you they did a
yeah,
trilogy? And that was
right.
the third part of the trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, they started playing a song for that record. I got excited.
Yeah, they've got a lot of big bands here in this episode. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, The Cure. Come on, that's bigger than they usually play at the Bronze.
Of course, yeah, of course it is. Yeah. So Buffy sits with Tara, right? And she's like got her legs spread, and she's like, and then
I
Willow,
love the way.
the way she's sitting.
Oh, I lost you as well.
Oh, okay. I
I
hear you
just
now.
said I thought Buffy's sitting style in the scene was perfect.
Yeah, great job sitting. And Willow goes to get a drink, and Buffy's like, she puts it together. Well, Faith as Buffy puts it all together. She's like, oh, Willow is gay. She says she doesn't drive stick anymore, is what she says.
Yeah. Yeah, meaning
And
penises.
exactly. And she mentions Oz, how she's like, oh, I guess Oz is out of the picture now.
Yeah, she used to
And
love that boy. Shit
yep.
like that.
And then so Buffy goes to kill a vampire. Did you notice this poster that's behind Buffy?
What is it?
It's a poster that says Dwight Yoakam.
Really? Just a
Dwight
Dwight
Yoakam
Yoke? Maybe he
poster.
performed at the Bronze and we missed it.
I don't think so. I think you would have caught that, but here's a poster of him here. That was pretty
No,
cool.
I'm saying like maybe like they were busy at school. They're not going to the
Oh,
Bronze as much anymore.
oh, I thought you meant we, like we. Well, we would have noticed. You mean like as a for the show?
Exactly.
We missed
Yeah.
it.
The
Okay.
show missed it.
Right. Okay. Sorry. And so Willow decides, Tara's not feeling well. I'm gonna take Tara home. And then and then she mentions to Buffy, Riley. She mentions Riley. And at this point in the episode, I hadn't even thought about Riley. Like I kind of forgot. And then because I was just so fun, having so much fun with Buffy and Faith. And then they're like, Riley. And I was like, oh shit, Riley. I forgot. And so she goes to Riley and she opens the door. And
With the
oh,
balls poster right there.
balls poster right there. So much balls
Mhm.
poster in this episode.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, baby," and then we go to commercial. But I have a question: how did she find his house,
I
like where he
wondered
lives,
that
or his
myself.
apartment, or dorm, whatever? Yeah,
I
but I
wondered
guess
that
move
my
past it.
yeah, maybe she looked up the dorm directories at the school.
Maybe
Remember Tara found Willow that way once.
did she?
In Hush, remember Tara like looks up Willow's name in a dorm directory?
Yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's fine. So yeah, they close the door, and you see that balls poster, and but Buffy, I
You
think
really
that
do. It's such a serious moment and you're like worried what about what's gonna happen, and all I'm looking at is that balls poster.
yeah, it's pretty hilarious. I think Buffy does a cool move here. What do you think?
What what did she do?
Where she's sitting on Riley and then she's like, ooh, and she leans back and then comes all the way back up. And you're like, ooh, nice, sick move, Buffy. That was pretty cool. So that really
Yeah.
gets Riley going. Riley stops everything he's doing and he's like, all right, Buffy, fine.
Yeah. I never noticed how huge Riley's head is until this scene. Like Buffy's kissing him, it looks like his face is like 5 times the size of hers.
That's interesting. I remember you brought up once that he is so much bigger than she is. But is she tiny?
Yeah,
I never
I
noticed it
think
until
it's
this
both.
episode, I
I think
think.
he's a big boy and she's very diminutive. And I
She's
think
very
she
small.
loses more and more weight as the
She is
series
looking a
goes
little
on.
skinny, I have to say.
Yeah, if you go back and watch like the first 2 seasons, she's got a little meat on them bones. But I mean, she's walking around like a belly shirt some of this episode, and she is like very skinny.
She is very skinny. And
Yeah.
like she puts on those leather pants. And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
she's looking a little skinny." But so I feel mean, I don't know. But All right, so we go to
I mean,
Tara.
she's commenting on it. She felt pressure to keep it tight. That's how they were treating women in Hollywood back then.
Back then, as if we don't is that another thing still,
I feel
right?
like we just let them tub out now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
We're
know.
not allowed to we're not allowed to talk about it when that happens anymore.
But we do the thing that's in Knocked Up where he's like, just tighten it up, tight, or
Yeah,
he like tries to like make it
exactly.
like little hints. That's funny. And as if that's a hint. Lose 5 pounds, tighten up.
Yeah, and
Um,
that and the actor who delivers that line, Alan Tudyk, later a regular on Joss Whedon's Firefly.
wow. I had no idea about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I popped here. Did you when Tara and Willow are talking and they're gonna do like by the way, they pull out a ring, and I was like, this one could have been called the ring, not instead of that Angel episode. But we have like they start talking about astral projection, which was very cool. We just finished the Insidious movies, and here we are talking about astral projection. They don't really get into it much, but they do mention it.
Yeah. I mean, I did. This was the first episode I remember really liking Tara a lot. Like the and we didn't knew that we'd feel that way. The moment Tara like knows that it's not Buffy, despite
Yeah, that was
having never
cool.
met her before, is like really compelling.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like I've liked Tara more than you have, probably. And by the way, I feel like you mentioned.
I eventually loved Tara, by the way. I just
Okay.
think it's a bit of a slow burn with her. So if you like her already, then great.
Yeah, I like Tara. I feel like I had like a rougher start with Willow than I ever did Tara.
And that is actually 100% true.
I like Willow, but I mean Tara, but I feel like I never would have even caught this, but you mentioned early on in an episode, you're like she has a stutter, and in this episode she's talking to is she talking to Faith or Buff? She's talking to somebody, and
Yeah.
she has like a really bad
Yeah,
stutter.
and Buffy as Faith is just pulls like a real today, Junior.
Yeah, she's really mean to her right there. But I
Yeah.
feel like I wouldn't have even noticed early on, but I remembered you mentioning her stutter. Like she does, but it's I wouldn't have even thought about it until now.
Yeah,
But it
it's
was
not like super pronounced, but like she is doing it. And if you watch, even if you read like the scripts, I've read all like the Buffy shooting scripts and shit.
mhm.
They write that into her dialogue, like like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be doing that.
Okay. I guess I just haven't really noticed it as much. But we
Yeah.
go here we go. So Riley leaves or Buffy leaves Riley's
Runs into
apartment.
Forrest.
Fucking Forrest is in this episode. Just when you think we're in the clear, it's a great episode. Here comes Forrest to ruin everything. He's like, "Hey, Buffy, you are hanging out. You're not letting him get sleep. He's got to get his beauty sleep. He's like the best guy we got, and you're ruining his mind. He can't concentrate." And she's like, "Fuck you, Forrest." I kind of didn't like they made it seem like she cared about what Forrest thinks, even though she has the line like, I don't even care about you, Forrest. Like she has a look like she wants him to approve of her. And I was
Well,
like, fuck Forrest. Who cares?
I think that Faith just cares more about what people think about her than she wants to. And
Yeah.
so like yeah, she dismisses Forrest with like I don't care. And it's like a sad moment for both of them because it's like Forrest wants her to care and Faith really wants to not care and neither of them are succeeding in that moment.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. And so Faith escapes that place. She like I thought that was a dumb move by that guy. He put his gun through the little bars and she was able to grab his gun.
Oh, very stupid. Yeah.
Poor decision by that guy. And here we go. So
I
Faith.
feel like it was probably something he was doing consistently, and that's how she like clocked it.
Oh, really?
It didn't feel like spur of the moment. It felt like she was like, next time he does that,
That's
I'm
good.
fucking
I
getting him.
like that. I didn't really
Yeah.
think about that. That's pretty cool. I have a question here. So Faith ends up, she escapes, she goes to Giles' house. Buffy as Faith, sorry. And Giles, he comes downstairs with dishes. And it was like those dirty dishes that have been left upstairs for a few days. Because I noticed he came down with like 3 plates and like 4 cups, and it seemed like he was like that seemed crazy. Yeah, all that all
They
those.
weren't. They were just like tea dishes, though. It's not like they were plates.
No, I'm pretty sure he had a couple plates in one hand, and then he had like
Really?
4 mugs in the other hand.
All right, so
Yeah.
he's collecting dishes from around his house.
Yeah, pretty weird moment there from Giles, but he comes down and Faith is there and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Faith." And then the others come in. I love the part where he's like, "You are you actually Buffy?" And she's like, she mentioned that Joyce said he was like a stevedore,
Yeah.
which is not good, right?
No, that's very good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, stevedore. That's like it's like a dock worker, right? I would think
I had to look it up and I thought that seemed bad.
no, I would think it means like she's like he's a blue collar working man. He's an animal.
Oh, dock worker. That seemed to me like he was just like uh maybe by the numbers, you dock the boat, you take the boat out.
I don't think so at all. I
Okay.
think it was like this guy, he's just like not really part of society. You know, he smashes that pussy.
Wow. I really
Yeah.
thought the opposite. I was like, he sticks the boat in the harbor and then takes the boat out of the harbor. It's as simple as that.
No, let us know in the comments
Yeah,
what
we
you
have
think.
totally different takes on this. I like to believe your take. I don't want Giles to be like bad, you know?
No, no, I think he's great.
I
She
think
did
so
it
too.
twice
She did it twice on the like in 10 minute span on the cop car.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had Jenny Calendar. She could have had any man she wanted. Olivia's she's great. So
The guy's a stevedore. I think it's a positive thing.
yeah, I mean you're probably right. It's called a Stevedore, not a Logan door. That'd be bad. But Stevedore, it's named after your guy Steve.
Well, my dad's name is Steve, and I know for
Oh
a fact
really?
that he's bad in bed and has a tiny dick.
I didn't know your dad's name was Steve. Steve
Yeah,
Ehrenberg. Steven
that's
Ehrenberg.
right.
That's pretty cool. Um, I think I just heard a police car go by. The all right, so Tara and Willow they show up and they're like, that's not actually Buffy. That's not Faith. It's actually Buffy, and I know everything. And then Xander calls and he's like, hey, check the TV. So that they check the TV and the news is on, and we see like that church is being held up or whatever. I want to say I like this episode. I think that the Buffy Faith stuff is awesome. The villain side of the episode I don't think is awesome.
There is no villain. I mean, it's he uses Adam to push that along a little bit because it's a season 4 episode and he's the big bad at this point. But
And
I
there's a
mean,
big action scene at the
the
end.
villain of the episode is Faith in Buffy's body.
It is, but it was more that way in the last episode where Adam wasn't even in it. In this one, he's like got these guys. We have an action scene where we fight these vampires at the end. I'm just saying this was the part of the episode I was least compelled by was the
Oh,
Adam with the
it's
vampires.
arbitrary. I think like it literally is just because we have to keep the subplots ticking along.
Right. I wouldn't have minded if this two-parter was completely Faith. Would people have complained about that?
No one would have complained about it, but you just did you introduced Adam in this like big way with like a huge two-parter, the Iron Team
Yeah.
and Goodbye Iowa. You don't want to like go away from him for too long after that.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. I just think mixing the two was my least favorite
I
part.
think if he wasn't in one of these episodes, you would have said something.
Well, now I'm saying something because they didn't do it. So
Okay.
I probably would have regardless. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I would have been like, this is so cool. It's only Faith these 2 episodes. That's what I probably would have said. I
Yeah.
think that might be what I would say. I don't know. But anyway, so we go to the church and Riley's there, but he's only there because he's a little late. He's late for church. I
That
like
is
that
my
touch.
favorite. That is my literally favorite thing of this entire episode. When I think of this
Yeah, that's
episode,
great.
that is what I think about. I think about Buffy with her tongue out in the mirror, and I think that Riley just goes to church every Sunday, and so it just happened to be at the scene.
Yeah, I like that part too. And he doesn't even have a family. It's not like he's being dragged by his mom or grandma or anything. He just like
No,
goes to
he's a
church.
college boy alone going to
Crazy.
church. I
That
love
doesn't
it.
happen. That is unrealistic, I think.
It's so Riley though.
It is so Riley. That's so Riley. So Buffy or Faith shows up, right? But she was looking at airports at like flight. She was at the airport looking at flights, and then she sees on the news about the church. So Buffy as Faith shows up, and there's like a big moment. She hugs Riley, runs in, she fights the actual Faith as Buffy, and I have a question. Like they do the hand thing from the last episode. They grab each other's hands, but that device isn't there, was it? Don't we need that
No,
device?
yeah, it's not. She destroyed the device. I don't really know what the deal is there.
I don't either. That seemed crazy. They just randomly go back to normal. You just have to do that hand motion again, or I guess.
Yeah.
But so there we go. And then Faith runs off. Don't see from Faith, and well, I guess we see her at the
Yeah.
end of the episode. But she takes off. No real resolution to that yet,
Yeah, she just runs away.
which I'm glad about. I was worried. I was becoming worried that like they were gonna bring Faith back, and then she was gonna die, and that was gonna be it.
No,
Very
we're gonna
glad
see
that's not
Faith
the
again
case.
really, really soon.
I'm very glad about that.
Like not yeah. So by the way, I read that the reason I never knew this before doing the research for this podcast. I never knew that the reason they waited so long to bring Faith back in season 4 is because she was off filming Bring It On.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
brought up how she made like get a movie career and never come back,
Yeah.
but she came back. That makes me happy. Um, she's very very cool in Bring It On. You ever see Fired Up? Oh, you saw Fired Up. In Fired Up, they quote Bring It
Yeah.
On. Eliza Dushku's
Yeah.
in Fired Up. Very cool.
She is? I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
they watched it at like a drive-in theater, or like they're just like all sitting outside watching it, and they quote along, and Eliza Dushku's like has a few lines from Bring It On in it.
Oh, I thought you meant like Eliza Dushku shows up as herself at the
Oh.
drive-in. Is like, are you enjoying the movie? I'm in it.
That'd be awesome. No,
Yeah.
she's just like my brother or whatever it is, you know.
You
And
mean the guy from Clock Stoppers?
that's that guy.
Yeah.
Is that the guy from Swim Fan? Or no? That's a
Yep.
different guy. That's him. Oh my
I
god.
can't believe I thought of Clock Stoppers before Swim
Me
Fan.
too. That's why
I,
I
I
was questioning
believe
if I
the
should
episode.
ask.
I believe that fellow's name is Jesse Bradford.
That's absolutely what his name is. Yep. I,
Yeah.
I used to think he was John Tucker, but he's not. That's a different guy.
No, that's the dude from Passions.
Yeah, right.
Original cast member on Passions. He played a character named Miguel Lopez Fitzgerald.
Oh wow.
I still
Okay.
remember that. Isn't
Okay.
that wild? I haven't
Well,
like
it's not that
I
wild.
watched Passions like 2 summers, and then I never thought about it again. But I still remember all his character names.
Esteban from
He was in love. He was in love with a girl named Charity.
Esteban from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. His name is Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. I still remember that.
Stuck with you.
That's the thing he would always say. They would be like, he'd be like, I am Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. And then he would like do it like a cool thing, like save the day. That was like his bit.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, Riley tells Buffy they're like hanging out, and Riley's like, "Man, I should have known that wasn't you." And Buffy's like, "Huh? What do you mean by that? What does that mean? You like had sex with her?" And he was like, "Uh, no, I had sex with you." And then
I think the episode should end with that line. I like that line a lot. And she goes, "You slept with her. I slept with you." And then the episode should end. But then there's like
no,
another moment where like she's like, "Well, I don't think Faith will be bothering anybody." I'm like, "Come
yeah,
on."
that was kind of weird. But I think
Yeah.
I'd like to see Faith in the little train car. I'd
No,
like
no,
to
I
see that.
want to see that. You can cut to that.
Okay,
But
okay.
I think Buffy's the
You're
last
right.
line between Buffy and Riley should have been that one.
Yeah, I didn't like that line. Like, Faith won't be coming around here anymore or
Yeah.
whatever. That was a little choppy, but yeah, I agree. Uh, so Faith all alone in a train car. Who knows where she's going? But I guess she'll be back
I
soon.
do.
You do. Oh my god. Yeah, you do. That's crazy. Oh, all right. So I'll give it a 4. What about
Me
you?
too.
In my MVP, I'm gonna go Buffy, but Faith runner up.
Yeah.
And my LVP Forrest. Gotta be Forrest. F
Wow, I
you,
love it.
Forrest.
I love it.
Douchebag.
Certainly not Riley. Great job going to um the church. Getting to church. By the way, Forrest, I saw somebody on the Buffy subreddit this week posted a picture of him. He's on that show Goosebumps, and he's got a big
No.
beard now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
yeah. So congrats to Forrest on growing a beard. Um, so my LVP for this episode, I think it's also got to be Forrest. I'm looking at the cast. The cast for these Buffy episodes, they're never bigger than like 15 people. So you kind of just have to
Right.
choose one of them.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe Anya, she has one scene.
She brings value.
Okay. I don't as much as I dislike like sort of the Adam section, I wouldn't go Adam. I think he's cool. All the speeches he gives are
No,
pretty
I
neat.
love his speeches. I like
Me
the one
too.
where he goes, I've been thinking about vampires. I'm
Yeah,
like, all right, tell me more.
no, I agree. Anytime he starts talking, I'm into it. So yeah, it's got to be Forrest.
Yeah. All right. So who's your where do you put this one?
I put this one. It's tough. I guess we'll start with the last episode, this year's girl. I think I like this one more than
Me
that
too.
one.
I'll also do that.
But then right above it, I have the Zeppo, and I'm not sure I like it more than the Zeppo. So I might just
Hmm.
put it right here, right above this year's girl at number 30.
All right.
30 of 72.
All right, hit me up. Where do I have this year's girl?
All right. You put this year's girl at number 27. So ahead of it, you have I Only Have Eyes for You, Ted, Surprise, Wild at Heart, The Initiative, Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered, Doppelgangland, Halloween, School Hard, Angel. School
All
Hard
right, all right, all
seems
right, all
hard.
right. The first appearance of Spike. Fuck off.
But I think I like Doppelgangland and Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered. I think I like those more.
You know what? I like the idea of putting this one right next to Doppelgangland
Why do you like that?
because it's like Joss Whedon writing and directing episodes where like he's like letting his actors experiment.
Oh, that's actually a great point. So you put it under or
I'm gonna
above?
put it above, one above.
So you have it at number 20, and I had it at number 30. So and you have it between Halloween and Doppelgangland.
Yeah,
So I like that.
that feels good.
Yeah.
Um, I have an announcement to make.
Oh my goodness.
You have reached a checkpoint.
Oh my god, is this halfway through Buffy?
We are now halfway through Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Holy shit, that's awesome. That also makes me very sad. I don't like that.
Oh, we still have. Think about all the Buffy you watched. We have that much left to go.
Yeah, and we're gonna be doing one a week rather than two a week, so it'll actually
Yeah,
go way
and
longer than
we've
I think it
got a
will.
whole bunch of Angel.
So much Angel. I don't know if that makes me happy, but
It will.
yeah, I assume so. According to you, you love fourth
I'm
season, but
getting
Tim
so
didn't.
pumped. I'm looking at like the episodes that are coming up, and we're so close.
Okay,
We're so close to Angel being great.
okay, I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Um. Okay. Let's. Oh, let me take a. Can I just take a pee break?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Well, one more thing, by the way, from the maybe why I wasn't as high on the last episode is I'm a Spike lover. I haven't liked. I mean, I think I like last week's one episode with Giles and Xander more than this week's episode. I haven't liked the thing we're doing where we're just giving him one episode, one scene a week.
At least
That
they're
sucks.
using him. He's in one episode of season 3. It's the best season of Buffy.
According to you, I
I
like season two more, but but they're only doing it because they have to, and they're like, all right, we got to write a Spike scene, and they're doing a good job. I'm liking Spike, but I like more Spike than less Spike, obviously.
that's fair, but I will say this episode this week. I mean, his scene this week really stands out.
Last week was better though. I said he had one scene in both episodes, and last week's was better.
Oh, I think they're both great. Both
No,
great.
last week's was way better. This one was fine. This was just like Faith hitting on it. Last week it was really
Ride you
funny
a
with Giles and Xander.
buckle. I'll ride you a buckle until you pop like warm champagne.
She said that
I'm
to
like,
him.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Oh, that was good. Okay, you're okay. All right, I can't. I thought she said that to Riley, but I mean, why would she? That sounds like a crazy thing to. But she does have that scene where she's trying to seduce Riley. Also, that's pretty good.
Yeah, she doesn't have to work that hard in that scene.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why that line would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk Angel?